How's it going, guys? And welcome to RC Cincy. Again, I want to apologize. Went to the dentist. My mouth is a little swollen, so I apologize ahead of time. But I'm excited to bring another unboxing and overview. Well, not so much an unboxing, mainly an overview. This is the Horrizon Hobby E-Flight Cherokee 1.3 meter. This has been out now for like about 3 years, just over 3 years. So this is a pretty popular airplane. It came out like it's somewhere in the 60s. Very popular passenger airplane. I think this looks like a 140, maybe a 180. I'm not sure. But the cool part is it's been out a little while, but it's still a goodie. So this is the bind and fly version. I'm kind of upset. This is the only bone I have to pick with Horrizon. When this came out, the PMP version was $199, and the bind and fly was $239 or $29 or something like that, right? Now the PMP version is $279, and the ready to fly and the bind and fly version is $299. So of course I use channel money for it, but it's like the price increase. Nothing has changed on this model. Now I can see if they put a new receiver, a new ESC, better light, better this, okay, you can kind of justify the price. So I was kind of bummed out about that, but it's still a really great plane. Would I recommend it? I'll talk about that here in a second. So as you can see, very beautiful plane. I'll talk about the features here in a second. Let's just flip the box around. This is the bind and fly version. It just talks about, you know, that is ready for spectrum, you know, easy to put together, brushless power, 1000 kV. It can handle 3S and 4S capabilities. Say select AX3X, scale lights, really beautiful flaps. I think they're called Valor flaps. Very beautiful. So very beautiful plane. Gives you a little bit about the history right here if you guys like reading that. So without further ado, let me bust out the plane. I technically already built this plane and maidened it, which I will feature a video for you guys. Basically like the second or third flight, I will feature this video. I went up actually today and maidened it, and this plane is insane. Probably one of my favorite low-wing planes I own. So my favorite warbird is the P-39, just because of its performance and the tricycle landing gear. Amazing plane. My favorite all-time jet is between the Avanti and the A-10, and this class is kind of its own. My favorite twin is the Otter. And then my favorite small jet is the Citation Longitude, which I just featured on the channel. So this plane right here is stunning. So it's very beautiful color scheme. See if we can get the kind of set on here, right? Very beautiful color scheme. I'll have to kind of watch it. There you go. Very beautiful color scheme. Love the way it looks. This is what I call like a Hershey bar wing. A lot of control surface. So a lot of surface area, so the wing would fly really great. It has a little bit of dihedral to help create some lift, a little bit of angle dihedral. As you can see, the flaps are Valor flaps, so there's a little gap right here. Just really nice. Has a really nice carbon fiber spar in there. You can see if you hold the light up to it, you can see how long these little plastic connections for the flaps are, like how well this is made. It's actually really nice. They do all the panel lines and panels and everything, little bits and bobs on here just to make it look really nice. It has a beautiful set of lights, nice little scale antenna. This is basically the Piper is the manufacturer that makes it. It does have really beautiful lights, which I'll plug in. So let's pop this hatch really quickly. I'm talking about the batteries here in a second, but I just want to show you guys the lights. Look. I think the lights are absolutely stunning on this thing. So let's lock that in. So you have a front like landing light, very beautiful. You got two more lights on the wings for landing, kind of see it's coming at you. Obviously you have the green on the right side, the red on the left side. You do have a strobing light on both sides, and then you have another red strobing light on top. So I think that's really, really beautiful. The canopy is easy to open. This latch mechanisms is made out of metal right there, so it is very easy to hold on. It does have a nice pilot in it. Really good looking pilot. The instrument panel is a little big. You can technically set this up for FPV, by just getting another one of these and putting like the camera in, removing this piece of the glass so it's a little clearer to see. It'll just look really, really scale. Plenty of room to put like a battery back here or whatever. So just buy an extra hatch, make it FPV if you like. Plenty of room for larger batteries. You can see the older receiver, but still has AX, 3X, all that. Uses Spectrum servos, 9-gram servos. So that's kind of cool. Has a sticker here, which is supposed to be like the mat that they walk on. You can use like grip tape and other stuff to make it more scale. I will talk about, you know, making things more scale and a lot nicer. I'll be 100% honest with you. I broke the prop adapter. It's aluminum, so please be careful tightening up the prop adapter. It is very, very easy. Let me unplug this. It is extremely easy to break it because it is hollowed out to have another screw tap in. So the walls of it's very thin. It is aluminum, so if you over tighten it, the adapter will just break off and then it won't hold. Obviously, I ordered another one, and fortunately for me, I reached out to them. They sent me another one, no big deal. You can buy them from like eBay, Horrizon Hobby. I think they're only like $4.99 or $5.99, something like that. So it is a very cheap fix. So there is that 1000 kV motor. Nice little prop. I like that. It looks really good with the cone nose on it. It does have wheel pans. Beautiful. It does have a little bit of shock absorber in the front, which I do like. The back ones are these really thick piano wires that are very strong. So landing gear is really beefy. The wheels are decent size. Technically, I think you could fit a bigger wheel in there, by the way. Nice foam wheels. You can see the Valor flaps better now. See how they open up, Valor flaps. It does have servo covers, which I can appreciate just to help it make it look better. Just a really, really good looking plane. Remember, for the back, it is, the whole thing moves. It's a vertical, the whole thing is an elevator, so it does not have little elevators on the wing. The whole thing moves. There's a vertical stabilizer, the whole thing moves. And then you obviously have your rudder. And then you have your ailerons. So all of them have nice 9-gram servos on them. Spectrum ones are okay. Not the best, but they're decent. So that's nice. As far as what you'll need is you are going to have to provide your own, obviously your own transmitter. You're going to have to provide your own battery charger. Whichever brand, doesn't have to be these particular ones. And then batteries. Now, as far as batteries go, this thing can take a very wide range of batteries and handle it very, very well. So the smallest I would go with is a 2200 milliamp. Of course, I completely skip 3S for this. I go to 4S. Why not enjoy that extra power? It gives you a little more power to get out of sticky situations as well. This is a 4S 2200 milliamp 50C rating battery. You are going to need, it does have EC3 connection. This is XT60. You are going to need an adapter, which of course I have. So you need an adapter for that. I have 2 of the 2200s, so plenty of flight time there. I also used to have 2 2600s. One of them went bad. I think I just didn't charge it or something. Only one of the cells went bad, so technically I could remove that cell and make it a 2-cell battery, but it's just not worth it for me. Or 3-cell battery. It's just not worth it for me to mess with it, honestly. These are 2600s, 60C rating, so that's a good discharge rating. So 2200, I think, is like kind of a sweet spot. But to be honest with you, it's that point where it's not too heavy, but you still have plenty of flight time, well over 5 minutes. Even with the 2200, they recommend 5 minutes. A 2600 would probably get me closer to 6, 7, and then a 3200, like they recommend, is probably 10 plus, depending how you fly. So I also have these batteries right here. These are my UMPT batteries. This is a 3300, so it's 100 milliamps bigger than what they recommend. No problem. 80C rating discharge, 4S. So these packs right here are mean. This will definitely have it screaming, a lot of power. I wouldn't run 4S back to back and a 1000 kV 50 amp. Just because it's 50 amp, it will draw quite a bit. This is only a 1000 kV motor. You could beef up to like a 70 amp and maybe put a little bit bigger to like a 870 or 840, whatever. You could probably go with a little bit bigger motor. But you can change that up, obviously. But to be honest with you, these are my monster batteries. I would not do, this would be such a long of a flight time anyways. Depends how you're on the throttle, off and on. But these are just so monstrous, I probably wouldn't do these back to back. But I do have 2 of these 3300s. And of course, HBR, one of my favorite brands. I do have another 3300 HBR, which is 14.8, obviously 4S. And it is 60C rating. But like these 80Cs are the kickers. And then obviously these are 50Cs, still 22s, and those are 60Cs for 2600s. I wish I had two. I would love to order another 2-pack. That would be amazing. So those are the batteries you could run in it. As far as setup on radio, very, very easy, standard. If you just select the model, select one aileron, one flap, name it, put the bind plug in, leave it in, take it, and once it starts flashing, take it out. That's how you would have safe select. Leave it in the whole time. Safe select never gets bound. You don't have to. I like to put on the switch. I do the landing gear switch that doesn't have gears. This is the easiest one to put it on. Obviously do a kill throttle switch. I always recommend doing a throttle switch just so you don't cut your hand. Flaps, I like to put on this one. You can obviously change that to whatever you want. It's factory set to this. I think gears factory set to that. Throttle cut is factory set to that. So you can obviously change that all out around however you like. It does not have telemetry or anything fancy like that. You can get the Avion, whatever, Spectrum ESCs. They have, you know, temperature telemetry. You get smart batteries, give you the voltages. You can get all that fancy stuff if you like. You can upgrade technically electronics in this. This is a great flyer. This is something in the future, maybe after it's had several packs ran through it later on in the future. It'd be a great idea to put like a 70 amp or 60 amp in it, and then maybe a new motor, maybe a little bit bigger motor, possibly, or maybe the same size even would probably be fine, and run the crap out of this thing. This is one of those planes that are very good flyers, a lot of fun, can fly inverted, even though it has a little bit of dihedral. Typically dihedral airplanes have a harder time flying inverted. For some reason, this one does well because it's not that aggressive of a dihedral, so it does still fly well inverted. The veil flaps will help you take off grass. I've not taken off and flown off grass yet. I've only flown off of asphalt. Now, here's one of the most important things, I probably should cover this right away, is the manual that it comes with even has a sticker on top of it. The only other thing that came with this is a manual and a bind plug. It's in the other room, not a big deal, typical manual. I recommend throwing that one in the trash and downloading a new one. The new one has corrections that they didn't have quite right on this. So I think the CG is a little bit different in the new manual, and I do believe also that you need to adjust this elevator. When I flew this to Maiden, I thought everything was great. Everything seemed to be connected, everything seemed to work fine. I took off and the elevator was way off. I had to use all my digital trim just to get it to go down and up. It was all out of whack. Luckily, I landed it with no issues. Landed the damn thing. Manually unscrewed the screw to it. Manually set it to where it was, looking level, so I had the same amount of movement each ways. You can also check that with a gauge that shows like degrees, so you can set, it's supposed to be 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 22 degrees, whatever it is, how you can set it. You can use those to make sure the movements are the same. They will differ. If you flip the switch to safe, it will differ those movements. You get more movement without safe, you get less movement with safe, so it has to be spot on. That can cause issues for you if you use safe select. In a hairy situation, it's just nice to have it, in my opinion. If you lose sight, or the sun is in your eye, or it gets really windy when you're up there and you don't feel comfortable, or you get your eye off of it, it's nice to have it. No one says you have to use it. So just get that squared away. I'm sure in the manual will tell you that you need to adjust that, and I'm sure in the manual will tell you need to adjust your CG. I forget what the measurements were. I didn't make marks. You will have to balance this upside down on those marks, hold it, and just see how it's doing. You want it to be a little bit nose heavy, not perfectly level. You sure as heck don't want it tail heavy. That's when you have issues flying it. That's very important to remember. But I tell you what, I had one of the most funs I had in a long time. It was an adrenaline-packed, fun flight. The first one was scary. The second one was incredible. I actually did a flip, a roll with it, basically on the real Maiden. Did a roll, a flip, lined up the runway perfect just about every time. Landed, it did bounce. It can bounce. I noticed that. Depending, you just have to be on down. Once you get those wheels down, do not have any up elevator at all because it'll cause you to bounce, kill the throttle, obviously. You can come in a little hot if you want to. You can use the flaps. I did not. I'll try a flap landing, see if that helps. Obviously, you could do mixes as well, however you want to set it up. But honestly, just great. I didn't have any expo. I didn't do any rates or anything on it yet. I will probably do like a 70 and 100% rates. I really don't do too much expo. But all in all, it was an incredible flyer. I see why it's still around 3 years later. It's still available for order. So yeah, an amazing plane. Really tough landing gear. Great big wing. Just a great flyer. Just amazing. I can see why this is still popular. It looks good and it flies absolutely incredible. The only thing is transporting this. It says 1.3 meters. It does use only 2 screws. It does have the quick disconnects, so you don't have to unplug a bunch of wires. It has these set up little adapters that just plug in. That's all ran for you. You don't have to worry about that. You just undo 2 screws. The wings will come off. Being a 1.3, a decent sized trunk, you should be able to just fit it in there or in the back seat, no problem. I'm not going to take the wings off and on. That'd be a pain in the butt to me, honestly. I did get a little bit of damage right here just from transporting the hitting on stuff, but no damage occurred when I actually flew the plane. That's hilarious. Like, I did that from transporting. Be careful. Hot water will actually get that right out. If you heat up some water in a microwave, like a bowl or something, and you can somehow soak that much of it or get a lot of hot water right here, this will actually, like, it's kind of smashed and retracted right now. It actually kind of work itself back out with hot water, believe it or not. That trick does work. I've done it before. So that's really everything I want to cover on it. Technically, I have another prop washer, another nut and washer. That's nice, and the little thing that grabs. So I technically have another one of those. And that's really everything I want to cover on this. So an amazing flyer. Highly recommend it. The only thing that sucks is the price increase. I would gladly pay another 20-30 bucks, but to go from $229 to $299 is a significant price increase for not getting anything extra but just a price bump. That's my only beef. But it is a great flyer. Is it still worth it at the end of the day? I had so much fun, I probably would pay that price again, to be honest with you. Don't let Horrizon know that I said that. But there you have it, guys, the Cherokee. I will be doing a video on this as well. I was just nervous with the maiden. But I will get my wife to either go to the airfield. I like to do some grass hops, so we'll probably go to a large enough field, like a couple soccer fields or something big enough for this, because it is a decent size. I want to be careful. I do have an AMA license insurance card. You know, I have the trust, what do you call it, test done, basically kind of fail-proof. Have that. I also have, you know, FAA number, registration. I have all that fun stuff over 250 grams, obviously. So I know the government's a little weird, but just be safe with these planes and just have a great time. Join a local club. Trust me, it's totally worth it. I love going on the weekends. It is a hoot. So there you have it, guys. The Cherokee 1.3. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.